Hi everyone, my name is Amanda George and I'm the Associate Dean that oversees Residence Life, Housing, and Conduct. I'm so excited to meet you and I look forward to meeting you in person if I haven't already had the chance. This afternoon, I'm going to be talking about student conduct and the expectations that Dickinson holds of all of its community members. I'm going to cover some of the logistics here tonight, and you'll continue the conversation with your OA after this presentation to talk about what it looks like to live out our values as a community. What Dickinson expects of its community members can be summarized with these 5 values. Respect for ideas is a hallmark of academic integrity. We show respect for ideas by acknowledging when we have used another's words or ideas in our work. Another value is respect for self. Knowing and respecting your worth helps to teach others how to treat you. We show respect for ourselves when we respect our boundaries and values. Dickinson is a diverse community. Appreciating, listening to, and affirming others makes us more inclusive. Respect for others is demonstrated by giving value to others' beliefs, ideals, and understanding that everyone, regardless of any differences that you have with them, deserves to be respected. Respect for property is essential when interacting with others' belongings. We show our respect for property by not stealing, destroying, or accessing property without permission. And lastly, being a member of the Dickinson community is a privilege that carries with it the responsibility for the well-being of all members and aspects of community. Respect for community is important here on campus. Dickinson outlines the expectations that it holds for its students within the community standards document. All on-campus students agree to the community standards, and it's each student's responsibility to know, understand, and follow the expectations outlined in these documents. The community standards can be found online by visiting the Community Standards website. A screenshot is on the screen right now. You can also use the search function on Dickinson's website, search for community standards, and you'll be able to find it pretty quickly. When a student's actions violate the expectations that Dickinson holds of its students, the college will follow up. Our process is focused on education and accountability to community. When students participate in the process, they are given the opportunity to learn about expectations that Dickinson holds and understand how to align their behavior with those expectations. When the college receives information about a potential violation of the community standards, we review the information available. You see this on the screen with the incident report review. There are 2 potential next steps: the formal process or the informal process. The informal process is appropriate when both the student and the college agree about the violation. Students will meet with an administrator and they work together on a mutually agreeable outcome. In the formal process, there are 2 options: administrative hearing or administrative panel. An administrative hearing is held with an administrator and a student. A panel hearing is made up of 3 members of the Dickinson community with the student. It should be noted that all violations of academic misconduct go to a panel. If found responsible for a violation, there would be an outcome which we call a sanction. You would receive more information about this process if you are involved in it, but it's important to know that there are outcomes, mostly focused on education and changing behavior moving forward, that can be associated with violations of the community standards. If you are involved in a potential violation of the community standards, you would receive information from our office about next steps via email. Additionally, more information about the process is available in the community standards document that I mentioned earlier. I'm going to talk now about some of the most common violations that we see here on campus. One of the most frequent violations of the community standards is a violation of the alcohol policy. The possession, use, sale, or provision and/or distribution of alcohol, except permitted by law, is a violation of Dickinson community standards. This includes underage possession or consumption. If a student is underage, they cannot have alcohol on their possession or within their residential space. Regardless of age, drinking games, alcohol paraphernalia, and large volume containers are prohibited. While the college aims to handle situations on a case-by-case basis in regard to alcohol, the college also aims to respond consistently to students and be transparent with outcomes. For first-time violations of alcohol policy, a typical sanction would be a warning or probation and notification to family. Another violation of the community standards would be a violation of the drug policy. This includes possession, use, and distribution. Dickinson College accepts federal funds, as most colleges do. Therefore, we must remain in compliance with federal law. At this time, the possession and use of marijuana remains illegal under federal law. Therefore, the use and/or possession of marijuana, even for medical purposes, continues to be prohibited on campus. This may be different than your local laws at home, so it's important to recognize this. For first-time violations of the drug policy, the typical sanction would be warning or probation, notification to family, and warning against repeat drug offenses. Health and safety are the priorities when responding to incidents involving alcohol and other drugs. We have an amnesty policy that applies when the reporting student reasonably believed they were the first person to make the call, provides their name, and stays with the person needing assistance. Under the amnesty policy, the students involved may be required to meet with a professional within student life. This would not be part of the conduct process. They may also be required to complete educational sanctions and/or substance use assessments. Earlier, I talked about our values as a community. Respect for others, respect for self, and respect for community are in our top 5 values. When somebody needs help, I encourage you to reach out. The college responds in a way that is educational and to get them the help that they need. And so we encourage you, if you see somebody, including your friends, in need of help, you call the Department of Public Safety. DPS will come, talk to the student, understand what's going on, and if the student needs medical support, DPS will be able to help with that. As I said earlier, the follow-up would be a meeting with a student life professional to talk about what happened and how the student's going to move forward. I hope that each of you, if you see a person that needs assistance, will feel comfortable calling DPS to ensure the safety of that person. I encourage you to put DPS's number in your cell phone now so that you have it in case you ever need it. Cheating and plagiarism are both violations of the community standards. Cheating involves the deception or provision or receipt of unauthorized assistance. Examples include copying another person's work or answers, collaborating on assignments unless it's been permitted, using online translators, or some of the other examples you can find in the community standards. Plagiarism is to use without proper citation or acknowledgement. Typical sanction for academic misconduct is an F in the course and state suspension. As I mentioned earlier, all violations of academic misconduct go to a panel hearing. You receive other sessions during orientation that touches on how to properly cite and credit the work of others, and I encourage you, if you have questions, to reach out to your professors, peers, and other folks who'd be able to help you understand this better so that we can make sure that we are giving credit where it's due. I appreciate you all listening to this short presentation. I am really excited to meet each of you, and I'm so excited to welcome you to this community. I went over some of the very logistical things, but I think it's also important for you to have a conversation with your peers about what it means to live on this campus, what it means to be part of the Dickinson community. This weekend, you'll be signing into the college and becoming official members of this community. It's important that you know your roles, your responsibilities, and what it means to care about others on this campus. If you have any questions about policies, student conduct, or the process, I hope that you'll reach out to us. Our email's here on the screen, conduct@dickinson.edu. You can email, call, or stop by our office in the upper level of the hub across from the dining hall. We're open 8:30 to 4:30 Monday through Friday. Feel free to stop by if you have questions. And now I'm going to turn it over to your OAs.